You carry yourself like a monarch, Grand Regent. Yet everything about you speaks of the battlefield, discipline, bloodline, conquest. You believe empire is forged by the strongest hand and preserved by the strongest warrior. A simple philosophy. Effective, perhaps, but simple.
Simple truths endure. The Viltrumite Empire ruled countless civilizations before the Scourge virus reduced us to remnants. Not an army, not rebellion, a plague engineered to destroy us, and still we endured. I was bred to lead, trained to command, tested by combat. After the Scourge virus, my authority was not merely tradition, it was necessity.
Necessary to a dying people, desperate to believe their past could be restored. How humbling it must have been, an empire of conquerors brought low by something no warrior could strike.
Humbling? No. Clarifying. It proved what weakness costs. It proved survival belongs to those ruthless enough to rebuild from ruin.
You mistake visible strength for absolute power. A warrior must constantly demonstrate superiority. He must crush challenges, answer rebellion, and bleed enough to remind others why they fear him. I have ruled worlds without standing before every fool who questioned me. True power whispers into a civilization until obedience feels like destiny.
That is not strength. That is manipulation. If subjects follow because they are deceived, they are not loyal. If they obey only because they fear illusions, they are tools. Viltrum was not built from tools. It was built from warriors. Every soldier understood the law. The strong rule, the weak submit, and the species survives.
Survival. There is the limit of your ambition. You speak of empire as a shelter for your people, but empires are vessels, instruments, extensions of a superior will. I did not rule merely to keep a people alive. The Sith Empire, Zakul, every throne I claimed, each was a means to transcend nations, bodies, even death itself.
Then you were never a true emperor. You were a parasite wearing a crown. A ruler who consumes his own empire for personal ascension is not strong. He is afraid of death, equals, and judgment. I demanded sacrifice from my people, yes, but I embodied what they were meant to be. I was the standard. You made yourself the exception.
And exceptions shape history. Your devotion to Viltrum is almost admirable, in the way primitive loyalty can be admirable. But it made you vulnerable. You bound your greatness to blood, tradition, and warriors who would turn on you if they believed themselves stronger. I chose a higher path. No empire, no body, no name was indispensable. Only my will endured.
Endurance without legacy is emptiness. A ruler who can die must build something that outlives him. I did not merely protect survivors. I sought to restore an empire that once made worlds tremble. If your empire cannot stand without you, then you did not build an empire. You built a prison and made yourself its only prisoner.
Legacy is comfort for mortals. I had no interest in being remembered as a statue, a banner, or a lesson recited by lesser beings. I sought to remain, to bend century after century around myself, What you call emptiness, I call freedom from decay.
No. You call it freedom because you fear judgment. Every empire is judged by what remains after the ruler is gone. Viltrum fractured, yes, but even broken, its name carried terror across worlds. Its bloodline remained powerful. Its warriors remained dangerous. Your empires remembered you as a shadow. Mine remembered me as strength.
Strength is more than the power to crush, Regent. It is patience, vision, the ability to turn enemies against themselves, to make subjects desire their chains. 1,000 warriors may win 1,000 battles, but one mind can direct the fate of civilizations. That is empire at its highest form. Not merely domination of bodies, but domination of possibility.
And yet every possibility ends where force begins. Every law, throne, and border exists because someone strong enough enforced it. Peace comes after the weak stop resisting. Without the power to crush, all your vision is fantasy.
And without vision, all your crushing is noise.
Then perhaps empire requires both. The will to command the future, and the strength to break anything that stands against it.
Empire is not justice. It is not kindness. It is not freedom. Empire is will made reality.
And only the strongest deserve to shape it.
So long as they understand strength is not merely the fist.
And so long as they remember that every empire, no matter how grand, must ultimately be defended by one.